Hey, I am back with another amazing Central Ohio nonprofit, Beyond Ability Matters. Stick around, you do not want to miss this story. Hello, Columbus. I am here with Lashana Stevens, and she is with Ability Matters and Beyond Ability Matters, which we're going to dive into both of them, but we'll focus a little bit more on the Beyond Ability Matters subset. So do you want to give a quick introduction of what you do at this organization and kind of what it's all about?
Yeah, sure. I am our project coordinator. So whenever we have special events, I'm the person that goes in and kind of controls like where we're going to have them, what we're going to do, what's going to get the people in, and what'll get them to donate.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you talk about getting the people in and donate, what community are you talking about that you're focused on?
So we, Beyond Ability Matters, we help support individuals with autism and other neurological disabilities.
Okay.
And in order to do that, we need funds because we want to increase access and more inclusion. So usually the hurdle there is funds. So we have some fundraising things that we do in order to help that. A lot of partnerships with businesses around Central Ohio. So that's what we do.
Okay, perfect. And I know we were talking a little bit before the camera started to roll and it became official, but there's just the organization itself just provides so many amazing resources for this community. And we were talking about how, this community is currently in our climate being attacked in a sense, and misinformation is being spread about, what is out there as far as like the resources and what I feel like I'm like you said, sometimes you lose your words a little bit, but I feel like your community is so important in helping these individuals live a normal life without judgment.
For sure. A lot of the thinking is very outdated, so it's very much people with disabilities should stay in their own places. They should only attend disability days, things of that nature. And the industry has come so far making sure that no, people with disabilities are in the same places you are at the same times that you are. But a hurdle to that is a lot of times a person with a disability may not be as employable as one of us. They may not be able to hold a 40-hour work week. And that's really hard, but they still should be able to have the opportunities that everyone else has. So BAM is really good about, which is Beyond Ability Matters, really good about supporting those people, kind of filling in the gaps. So where they may be able to work 2 days a week, but you can't take a trip on working 2 days a week. So BAM is really great about filling in the gaps there. Subscriptions to different resources. We have some of the food prep places. Okay. That's really great to keep people healthy. And a lot of times you can't afford that if you're only working 2 days a week, but BAM helps with those type of things. Memberships to Columbus Zoo, which is really great. That's a health initiative in itself. And it's just a great place to go. We have Zambezi Bay, so those memberships to those places, BAM helps support people who can't afford to have those memberships.
Which is so great because those are things that any individual would love to enjoy and partake in, and having the ability to be out in the community and live a normal life. That's all anybody ever wants.
That's all they want.
And that's what you're providing to the not only Central Ohio area. Can you talk about where your footprint is and where all you are helping other individuals?
So we are currently in Central, we're really in the Columbus-Dublin area. We've expanded to Delaware as far as our services goes for Ability Matters, which is who started Beyond Ability Matters. Ability Matters services individuals with autism and other neurological disabilities on a wider scale. But when they started that company, it really was very clear that there was a hurdle about funding. We can't get it from the state, we can't get it from the county, not for these things. People up there don't care if a person can go to the zoo. They don't care if they've gained 40 pounds, and maybe a membership to the YMCA wouldn't hurt. That's not in the funding. So we needed somewhere to get that funding to ensure that they were able to participate in those things. So BAM has been able to fill in the gap there, again, like I said. So.
And as far as where you get funding for BAM, obviously this is all through potentially corporations, individuals helping out, and so on and so
Yes.
forth. Like, where do you see there being a big need for BAM to continue their mission within the Central Ohio area?
I think we have a yearly golf outing, which really does help a whole lot having that. We do get kind of in the weeds sometimes in our day-to-day go, because that's the nature of this industry is it never stops. There isn't a time when a person doesn't need help, so it's a 24-hour business. But sometimes just taking a step back, and the golf outing is great, but branching out to those other things. So we've connected with 614, Nightlight 614, which we go to that, and a lot of the proceeds that the tips that they give for drinks, they give back to BAM.
Oh, nice.
And then a lot of the BAM volunteers go out and help, and we're kind of running drinks back and forth. So we're doing that next week. Ohio State's been really great with welcoming us there. So when we go to the Ohio State games, people like Roosters gave us, I think it was $2,000 last time, because Ohio State partnered with us, so we can get that out there as this is something that you can help with.
Okay. Yeah. So do you find the biggest, I don't want to say hurdle at this point, but like biggest helper is just spreading the word and letting people know so that like maybe other corporations can find a way that they could potentially give back to such an important cause? Absolutely.
I think one of our bigger hurdles at Ability Matters is that we just do it. Kristen is our CEO, and she's just so passionate about it that even if sometimes the donations aren't there, she'll make it happen. And that's great, but I think if we get our name out there more and our mission out there more, if people see it, they'd be more willing to donate and help more people. So that's our goal, just to be bigger and broader. Like we've taken over 100 individuals across country. Our last trip was 45 people trekking through an airport, but we were on our way to Australia, and it was really, really great. And that experience everybody doesn't get to have. So we want to continue to do that, but having help is really, really great. But getting the word out there is definitely the main thing, because if you see it and you believe in it, and maybe you don't have anything to donate, pass it on to the person that does. So, yeah.
Well, and we talked before we started filming, and just about like even just going to the beach, like how calming and healing that can be. Like if you've been to the beach, that feeling when you just step on the sand and you hear the waves crashing, and being able to give that experience to somebody who might not have ever thought that they could have that experience.
For sure.
I'm sure it's super rewarding.
Yeah, our last guy that we took, that was really one of his big things. He had talked about it for years, but we've got him recently as far as a consumer, and we knew that we could make that happen. It was not going to be an easy task, so we submitted to BAM to see if they'd be willing to help us with those costs, and they were. And because I went with him, it was very in the moment. It was go, but when I got home and got to look at the footage of, he got to drive a boat while we were dolphin watching. He jumped in a pool. The YMCA does not let you jump in the pool. So,
being able to jump in the pool.
Yeah, being able to jump in a pool, walking on sand. He'd never been on an airplane before. So that was just surreal to see his story unfold before me, or a chapter of his story unfold. And it makes it all worth it, because I'm go, but when I can stop and look back at it like, wow, we really did that. So, and I sent those pictures back to people here, and it was just really inspiring to know his story. He'd never been out of Columbus.
That's so cool.
BAM was really pivotal in filling in the gap there again.
And that's it. I feel like it's all about filling in the gap and providing something that most people would probably overlook and not even think about. And like, again, you mentioned you get stuck in your day-to-day, and you don't realize that such little things can have such big impacts.
They can. I come from a family of people who worked in this field, and just the mindset even of my mom, she is very different minded. Her wiring says we just take care of them. It's almost like a babysitting. So she doesn't quite understand, or she didn't quite understand the need to do these other things. But that's our mission, is to change the world. While of course we want to take people to places and get them, their memberships to places. A bigger goal there is to change the world's thinking. They should be thinking, why isn't this person able to do this? They can only work 2 days a week. We see that. Yes. Are they missing something, and what can we do to help? So we want to change the world in that way.
And it's so evident and you can see it so clearly if you just go to one of your events or what have you. I mean, I stopped by the golf outing this past July, and I know that you mentioned you do that yearly, and just being able to see your consumers light up. And like, I had so many come up and just talk with me, and they were just engaging, and it was just like, you could feel the good energy within the space. And I feel like that is something that our world needs right now, is more good energy out there. And it's just so rewarding to be able to see an organization in Central Ohio do such great work. So obviously, thank you so much for the work that you do. So I know you talked about some partnerships that you have. Is there any partnerships that have really stood out over the years that you've been an organization that you would just like to call out and maybe thank?
Yeah, we have some professional athletes. JC Sheldon, Taylor Mikesall, they donate a portion of their salaries to our cause every year, which is really great.
That's great.
Ohio State women's basketball is pivotal. Pivotal.
That's a new word.
Ohio State basketball is pivotal. I said it again.
Pivotal? Yeah, there we go.
Ohio State women's basketball is pivotal to our cause. They have a special night for individuals with disabilities.
Nice.
And Emmy Sheldon is like a big name there, and that's JC's little sister.
I was going to say, she's right behind us,
she's
right?
right
I
there.
met her at the golf outing.
Did
yeah,
you? She's a character, but she's really great with spreading this notion that you're going to see me anywhere. You know, you're not just going to see me at school. You're going to see me, like, she's out here dancing, she's doing TikTok, she's a star. Like, we enjoy being in her presence. So Ohio State basketball, those celebrities that help us out, professional athletes and whatnot, we really appreciate those guys.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And we talked about this a little bit, you know, obviously potentially with corporate sponsors who might be watching this video currently, but you know, what if there's somebody out there like myself who wants to get involved? Do you have volunteer opportunities? Are there like ways to donate? What's the best route for somebody who maybe wants to give to this organization?
Yeah, there's a couple of different ways. We do partner with Kroger. So if you go to the Kroger website where you're entering in your Kroger number, we are one of the donation options. So you could go there. You don't lose any of your Kroger points. You still get to keep those, but a portion of whatever you purchase, Kroger then donates to us.
Oh, nice.
So that's really great. The Land on a Cure, we've partnered with them as well. So they have events like Light Night 614, where certain days they give their donations to us. So going to those events, just going and watching a movie and having a good time, buying a beer really goes a long way.
Nice.
Coming to the golf outing, we have a donation link, so if somebody just feels the desire to also do that. And volunteering is huge. I mean, putting on such a large event like the golf outing is really, really a task. So having people who are willing to volunteer is really, really great. Yeah, volunteers are always welcome. Donations are obviously the biggest thing.
And we'll obviously link that below so that if somebody wants to donate who's watching today can click on that and feel free to donate. Now, and we didn't really talk about this before, but I know that there's always vision with nonprofits. So as you're looking ahead, I mean, you've done so much. How long has BAM been part of the Central Ohio community?
About 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure 10 years ago when you were starting this whole organization, you probably had a 5 to 10 year plan, and here we're at the 10-year mark. What do the next 5 to 10 years look like? What are something that, you know, you guys really want to do that potentially somebody watching could help make possible?
We've really been hyper focused on our social media, because while the donations are really great, getting our word out there and getting our story out there is even more important, because I think donations just will automatically come with that once people know what we're doing and why we're doing it. So we have just kind of been in that mode of working, going, and not really showing what we do. So I think our social media, getting out there, getting people to follow us and be invested in the stories, because you may not care about Joe Schmo, but if you get to know Brian, you know, it's much different. So getting to show those stories, I think, would be really great, and just getting access to everyone so they can see what we do is really important. Obviously, getting bigger is always a goal of ours. We want to make sure that we've helped these people, but we want to reach out and help even more. We want to provide more opportunities, do more memberships. I think, like I said, our word getting out there of what we do, if people know it, you know, other things will fall in line.
Yeah, and hopefully with this will get a few more
Yes.
people out there more familiar with what you do and what great energy you're spreading out into the Central Ohio and beyond area.
Just getting out, it's a thing. We're out so often, and people are just like, "Who are you guys with?"
Yes.
You know, people who think that my child couldn't do that. God, I wish my child could do that. They see us doing it with children who are like their children. So even just us being in a space kind of gets it out there. So if you see it, follow us.
Yeah.
You know, get the word out there, share a post or something.
I love that. Is there anything before we wrap up that you would love to just leave our viewers with, other than just like see it, be part of it, and take action?
Oh, yeah. Obviously taking action. Definitely thinking outside the box. I think that's really where we're at now, is thinking outside the box. Whatever you thought, be willing to change that way of thinking, because some people are underprivileged so much that they can't have the basic things that you have. So we want to make sure that we are always looking to see how we can help more. So even if it's not just a BAM or Ability Matters, if you see someone who may be underprivileged in any way, like, be willing to help and be willing to see things differently.
That's important. I feel like that's such an easy thing to do, but also can be very difficult. And
and it could be uncomfortable, but don't be uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, yes. And that's when you grow, you change, and you become better. So, well, I appreciate you so much for sitting down, talking with us a little bit.
Thank you for having me.
Obviously, hopefully, we continue to have our paths cross and get to work together in the future.
For sure. I appreciate you having me.
Well, thank you. If you love what Beyond Ability Matters does as much as I do, feel free to click that link below to donate either money or time. And as always, my name is Cbus Nathan. I put out videos every Friday on things to do around Central Ohio, market updates, nonprofits, and so much more. So if that's your jive, continue to follow along, subscribe, like, and I will see you next week.